Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the epic Cartoon Network show, OK KO, Let's Be Heroes.
Set in the futuristic year of 2001X.
Yes.
Where the world is populated by a video game and manga-esque characters. The series follows the KO.
The KO.
And his quest to become the world's greatest hero while working at Gar's Bodega in Lakewood Plaza Turbo. Mm-hmm. So who's going to make it? Him or Deku?
Right? It's like, it's a race now. Well, I guess Deku.
Since the series was canceled, it will be Deku.
Yep, and people couldn't believe it because it was doing very well. I mean, it might be for the fact that there was no merchandise like it did for Symbiotic Titan and Thundercats and stuff. They seem to not like when there's no toys for you to sell. Mm-hmm. But for here, it made 3 seasons, and it was clear that they weren't done after 3. They just had to come up with a conclusion and rush it out.
Right. And
not because they didn't care, because it was clear when we saw the final episode, they did this thing that was a bittersweet ending with this thing was life flashing before KL's eyes. After all the events that happened, all of a sudden we'll show a title card and then something happened. He would be jumping from thing to thing and he wasn't knowing what's going on. He wasn't even getting to experience anything. Right. It said there are some things you can't control.
Right.
And then they went on this whole thing of showing what could have been future episodes and future seasons, even showing him growing up,
right,
and future crossovers,
sort of like Steven Universe.
Yeah.
So you can see the correlation.
Right. They were showing you all the things they had planned that unfortunately they would never get to do. But in a way, still, this was one of Cartoon Network's best shows in a very long time.
Absolutely.
Considering when we saw the pilot when it was out, probably 5 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And it was just called Lakewood Plaza Turbo, and it looks very different. The feel was different, but you knew there was potential. So now seeing this, and it got greenlit, I'm glad that it did, because with the game polished off, it became one of the coolest series Cartoon Network ever had.
The unfortunate thing is, once it was canceled, everything is gone off Cartoon Network. No one mentions it anymore. You don't see fan art. You don't see anything. It's like it just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Right. There was no more promotion on it because I think the biggest juggernaut for Cartoon Network is or was Steven Universe. Mm-hmm. And when that was getting towards the end, they know they were going to have a bunch of people tuning in, catching up, getting new people as fast as you can before it goes off. Right. KO, they promoted a little, but because it wasn't merchandise, it wasn't a gigantic following fan base like Steven Universe are considering one of the best cartoons of the decade, or in that it wasn't held up on that pedestal. Cartoon Network didn't see it as something that would be long lasting. Right. So they decided, okay, 3 seasons is enough.
Unfortunately. But right now, today, we're going to reminisce on the fabulousness that was OKKO. And I thought he was so cute. He looked like a little bird.
Right. And then they had so adorable. And the series was created by Ian Jones Cordy, who is the partner of Steven Universe creator Rebecca Sugar.
Yes.
And we could see there were influences from Steven Universe and many pop culture references from video games, superhero movies, manga, and anime all together into the show.
And if you remember, in Steven Universe, we saw an arcade machine. There was an OKKO machine.
Right. So it's like that's where it exists in that universe.
Right. So, he's a mommy's boy. I'm not a mommy's boy. But he was a mommy's boy. And he was growing and learning. And as I said, he wanted to be the greatest hero ever. He wanted to have the card with the numbers go up. Mm-hmm. And he got his 2 friends that worked at the bodega.
Right. He had Rad and Enid. Mm-hmm. And you have to remember something.
Rascal's favorite was Rad.
Right.
Mine was Kale.
And when we were looking at it, like, you have to remember they were working at a convenience store.
Yes.
They didn't feel like a convenience store most of the time, but it was like, it has to be the best convenience store in existence. All I needed was probably a gas station. Like, it'd be some weird fuel or something. But they actually did have something like that. They would have, like, the lightning nachos, laser chips. They would have health juice and stuff like you get in the games.
Right.
And so they had lots of creativity put into it. There were even points where they had many crossovers with Cartoon Network shows or games, and they even had a all-star voice cast.
Yes. And everyone they picked for the different roles was fantastic. Not only the regular main cast, but also, as you said, the guest roles. Mm-hmm. And you really got used to them, seeing them every week. You were excited. You looked forward to it. And his mom was one of the coolest moms in animation history
right.
as well.
Hey, kiddo! Yeah, so she just loved that. She adored KO, and she'd do anything for him, but she also knew she had to, teach him, if he was starting to, go off the deep end or something, she has to warn him and teach him, because there was this mystery on who KO's dad is, because you never saw him.
Right.
You know if he was dead, he is dead, or what had happened. And this gets revealed in the final season. They even make a joke about it, said, I told you we should have held on this reveal till next season, but they couldn't, so they had to tell you now.
Right. and you have guessed it and gotten it right, too. So.
Right. And for the voice cast, they had Courtney Taylor for KO. They had Ashley Birch as Enid. They had the creator, Ian Jones Cordy, as Radicles and Daryl and many other characters. A lot of these people did multiple voices.
And they had Mina Suvari in the pilot. I didn't know that she's actually an actress that I'm familiar with. So I didn't know that. Yeah,
they actually had like 2 different voice actors for KO and Enid before.
Okay.
And then Ian Jones Corey did Rad in both versions. He was the only one that stayed, of course.
Yeah, Radicles.
Right. And then they had a big heavy hitter like Jim Cummings as Lord Boxman.
Terry Walgren.
Right. Bobby Damon. Ben Jones. And just Richard McGonagall. There was quite a few voice acting stars. And then they even had... They did something really cool. When they had the crossovers, they would get the original voice actors to play the characters.
Yes.
Because they had one was a crossover with a web comic that kind of looked like Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts, and they had the same voice actor. Mm-hmm. Then they went even further. They had a Captain Planet crossover.
Yes, that was cool.
And the original Captain Planet was doing the voice, and one of the Planeteers was one of the original voices.
Yes, and of course I was like, ah!
Right. Then they had a crossover with the Ghoul School. It was all the original girls. They even make a reference to them doing Ed and Eddie, because then they kind of morphed into them for a second, doing the girls on there like, and it was the Halloween special. And then they had a crossover with Sonic the Hedgehog, and people couldn't believe that they actually did that. They're like, what? Like a Sonic! Oh my gosh, a Sonic!
But the best crossover is when they showed all of the characters from all the Cartoon Network shows.
That's the best one ever. The crossover Nexus.
Yes.
And KO teamed up with Garnet, Ben 10 from the reboot, and Raven from Teen Titans Go, because there was a villain that was I think he was petrifying all the Cartoon Network shows, the characters, and he was showing, and they even had CN City, which was the most popular era of the network, and he even had...
And your favorite.
Right, it was everyone's favorite at this rate, and they even showed them working together at all the shows. They even had Symbiotic Titan and others, all the originals, and we saw they were planning to do a second one with ones they didn't cover.
Right.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it, but we are grateful for this one, because this is probably one of the best crossovers ever, and it was definitely a treat for the people who watch Cartoon Network growing up and are kind of like, with the new stuff.
We watched it when we were already grown up.
Right. So it was just an amazing idea. So it really showed with the crossovers and just the style of the writing of the show how much this guy really loves superheroes, video games, Cartoon Network in general. It was like a love letter to all of the fans of all this stuff out there.
Now, unfortunately, it looks like when they get rid of shows, Cartoon Network or whomever is the production company doesn't allow them to make DVDs.
Yeah.
I would love to have the entire series of OKKO. I would watch it all over again.
Yeah. And we looked for it, and they only have one DVD, which when they had the TKO, it was like the season 1 finale, and they only have select episodes, not even the whole first season.
Right. So I guess you'll never get to see crossover episodes
unless you watch it online, like on their app or on YouTube if people upload it, which is a shame.
Absolutely.
Now, for promotion, they did have quite a few commercials and stuff for a while. They didn't do any merchandise, but they did have stuff for Comic-Con. They did have a video game, and they even got to show the process of them doing the animation and stuff all the way to the beginning of the series.
That was animated in South Korea, right?
Right. And they also showed that their animation was different, with most people using computerization, and here they actually went... They were surprised they actually went to doing hand-drawn animation, because the first season was inspired by The Simpsons, which was why it looked all wonky and crazy.
But it worked.
Right.
I mean, it was so different, so out there. The characters were so iconic and memorable, and it was so much fun to watch that everything just came together and made this perfect series.
Right. There were even episodes that did stuff no other show did. Like, they even had one where KO realized he was in a cartoon.
Yes.
And he was freaking out because he was seeing all of the animation errors and stuff that didn't make sense, and only Cartoon Land makes sense, and he was freaking out. And there was another one where they show how to, when they have, like, constructive criticism, like, how will it feel if you insult someone else's work, you praise yourself, it won't feel good if you get that too, and stuff. And what else did they do?
Right, and then they had one episode that was the least liked, the gun episode.
Yes, there was one where they tried to do a gun violence PSA thing, and in a way, I think they were trying to be like the ones that they make fun of things in the past, but like the just say no and stuff like that. But the way it came across for here is the only really one of two bad episodes. This and the Black Friday episode. And here it seemed more one-sided, like no guns whatsoever, guns are bad, that's it. And it was very hard pushing in it, and it unfortunately didn't do well for most audiences.
So this is the only episode I would say should have never happened. Black Friday I could deal with because that crap they were showing on there, a lot of that, when I used to be out there, not anymore, it really happened. People would get crazy. So the only episode I think that didn't work at all was the gun episode. So it's the only mar on this otherwise spotless series.
They even did a Dexter's Lab episode with Dendy, where it's Dendy's Lab Laboratory, and they had themes of the old music, those sound effects, and TKO was kind of like Dee Dee when destroying the lab, and they had the little ballerina crash. Oh, and then we got to bring up TKO, which became one of the big arcs of the series, because it started to give more mysteries on his powers, who his dad was, about the villains in general. So they were still doing lots of world building with it, and that's when it started to go into the darker side of it.
And it took a Disney-esque, to me, turn.
A little bit,
because he was talking about locking it away and pretending it wasn't there and putting it deep down so it couldn't get him. You know, Disney has this thing where it says you can't get away from evil, you can't hide evil, you can't get rid of evil. And to me, in that way, it was more Disney-like. Because eventually TKO came back, and he came back with a vengeance.
Right, so yeah, that was a arc for a while, and then it escalated when it got towards the end of the series. And yeah, that's when it really got the darkest.
And KO got kind of, you know, he was always very innocent, very sweet. And he was like, well, we can live together and we can coexist. And then he lied to him, and then he took over. And again, that was, for me, more of a Disney-like turn. Like when you're watching shows like Once Upon a Time and so forth.
Right, and that's only minor parts of it that you kind of like, you didn't have to do that, but it didn't hurt the story.
Right, I was going to say, I didn't feel that way. As you said, it made it have a darker turn, it made it more interesting, you didn't know what was going to happen, so I didn't say it was a bad thing, I don't believe that. It just reminded me of Disney type of plot twist, is what I'm saying.
Right.
So no, I think it worked. The only thing I said didn't work for me was that one episode on gun safety.
Right.
Other than that, everything in this series worked.
Yeah, and definitely for the superhero fans. Yeah.
And made you really look at animation in a whole different way, in a way that Cordy Jones approached, you know, the topics.
Right.
And as you said, with all the shout-outs were wonderful. Even Team Rocket, remember they had...
Right, they're listing off again! They're like, what?
You would watch each episode, you were waiting to see, what's he going to reference next? What's he going to reference next? And it was so much a part of your viewing experience every single time.
There was even an All Might reference with Santa Claus.
Yes.
Or it was someone says, it's Santa Mite! So yes, it was just something for everybody, especially with the people who grew up on this stuff, or still is now, whatever your age, if you are into any of these genres, you're definitely going to love watching this show, because he is definitely shows how much he appreciates and loves superheroes, manga, anime, etc.
Right.
It really shows through, and that's why KO is going to have a fan base long after it's over.
Great.
And
just give us DVD sets. Give us the series.
Right.
We want it. We want to buy it.
Right.
Give it to us now.
And if we ever get the opportunity to have another season, it's most likely no. But if there's ever a chance that comes back, or even a KO movie,
or even on Netflix,
right, or even an okay KO movie like people thought there was gonna be, we'd love to see it because you can never get enough of this universe.
And lastly, I think I'd be interested to see what else that Ian Cordy Jones' brilliant animation mind could come up with. I mean, I love KO, and like you said, we want these things. But I'm really excited and waiting and hoping that he will get a green light for something else, because it's going to be fantastic. And I don't think it'll be like KO. It'll be something totally different.
Yeah, I agree.
That's fresh and exciting and we'll love just as much. So thank you, Ian Cordy Jones, for a fantastic series, for a wonderful send-off, and with short notice, for giving us characters we love, for it being a multiverse, with every type of person, place, thing, alien, everything existed, and it worked beautifully. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the show. And please let us know if you've watched KO. Definitely know what you think of the show in the comments. Or if you haven't seen it, just go ahead and watch it now.
Right. It should still be available on demand. And if you did watch it, who was your favorite character? What was your favorite episode? And are you hoping for a movie or maybe a return to streaming service, I should say, such as Netflix?
Right. And be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on Paws Podcast.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Masculine Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace. And I'm between ages 6 to 11.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, give it to you later on in the form of a locket.